another session of our subject social science. Here, as you already know, we have started lesson 4, Mughal Empire establishment and extension. In the previous video, I have explained you about the different rulers who belong to the Mughal dynasty. I have also explained you that how the Mughal dynasty was established, and we have learned about the relations of Mughal emperors with other rulers. Also, another topic we have learned, that is the tradition of inheritance, means how the new king comes to sit on the throne. So in today's session we are going to learn about the administrative system. Our first topic will be administrative system, which was there at the time of Mughal rulers. So first, Subedari system was implemented, means when the Mughal rulers were ruling, the main common system of administration was Subedari system. For example, Akbar divided his kingdom into 15 sections. When Akbar was ruling, he has divided his whole kingdom, his whole empire into 15 sections, which was known as Suba or province. मतलब जो हर एक section उसने divide किया था, each section was called Suba, or in English you can say province. मतलब कि एक छोटा सा राज्य. Then Suba or province was further divided. The subsection of Suba was government. Then the government subsection of government was Pargana. So this was how the division was made. Means, as you know that in nowadays our government system, means our system of government is also like at the village level, rural areas. Then there are city areas. So different at city we have municipal corporations. At village areas we have panchayats. Same way the system was there earlier also. They have divided according to their convenience. Next, head of each Pardana was called Amir. And what was the work of Amir? Amir would collect the revenue. Amir was responsible to collect the revenue from each and every person in the village, those who are doing any type of job. तो हर एक से रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट करने का, टैक्स कलेक्ट करने का जो पूरा काम था, that Amir was doing. Next comes the Gram Panchayat. At that time also, at the village level, there were Gram Panchayats. Gram Panchayats bani jati thi to look after the administration of the village, and the head of the Gram Panchayats were called Patel, Chaudhary या मुकद्दम. जो उनके head होते थे उनको बहुत सारे नेम से बुलाया जाता सब था. तो the head was responsible to look after the whole village. Next is pilgrim tax was not levied. At that time when Akbar was ruling, Akbar has waived off the pilgrim tax so that the common people can also get chance to worship their God. And as the pilgrim tax was waived off, that is why there were long queues of worshippers outside the temples. मतलब कि बहुत लंबी लाइन लगती थी of persons so that they can go and enter the temple, as टैक्स नहीं था. सो अकबर ने लोगों की चॉइस को देख के, लोगों की डिमांड्स को देख के ये पिलग्रिम टैक्स वेव ऑफ किया था. नेक्स्ट इज अकबर वाज कंसीडर्ड टू बी द मोस्ट टॉलरेंट एंड बेनेवोलेंट किंग. नाउ एज अकबर was fulfilling all the demands of the people, he was tolerant towards every religion. He was not discriminating that कि आप ये religion से हो तो I will not give this facility, or he was not at all discriminating the people according to the religion. वो हर एक religion को अच्छा मानता था, and he was not forcing the people to follow any kind of religion. So उसको कहते हैं tolerant. वो tolerant था, and he was benevolent, means as people loved him because he was fulfilling all the demands. सारे लोगों को उसका रूल पसंद आता था. whatever decisions he was taking, all were correct on behalf of the people. भी लोग उसे अच्छा मानते थे. इसीलिए अकबर का जो रूल था वो बहुत ही golden rule भी कह सकते हो आप. It was very nice. Next we have a small story about Akbar. Akbar regularly organized religious meets in the prayer hall at Sikri. Sikri means, here we are talking about Fatehpur Sikri, which was built by Akbar, and this was the name of the city. Now Akbar was regularly organizing religious means he was organizing a meeting. एक prayer hall होता था बड़ा सा, वहाँ पे he was organizing meetings for the representatives, religious representatives from every religion. मतलब कि जो बड़े बड़े सेंट्स होते थे, मॉन्क्स होते थे, they all came and attended this religious meet, and they all what they did, they discussed all the religious matters. That for example कहीं किसी religion के नाम पे discrimination हो रहा है, everything was discussed in this prayer hall. So this was regarded as a grand meeting which was organized by Akbar. But religious representatives from all over country, they were going to attend that meeting. It was also called discussion hall. इस prayer hall को discussion hall भी कहा जाता था, as religious matters were discussed. As I have told you, what they did there, yes of course थोड़ा सा worshipping prayer था, prayer worshipping तो होता ही था, और also religious matters को discuss किया जाता था. The royal court was adorned by scholars. Now here this is the important line. Scholars. Scholars means the most knowledgeable persons of that area. So the royal court of Akbar का जो भी दरबार था, that was adorned, मतलब उसमें बहुत scholars आते थे. Akbar was very lucky to get many scholars, and he has called some of the scholars that 9 gems. किसी 9 ऐसे scholars थे जिनको 9 रत्न और 9 gems बोला जाता है. So let's hear about that 9 gems. कौन थे? The 9 gems of Akbar's court. The 9 gems of Akbar's court were, first was the Todermal. Todermal, ये all these persons जो आपको list दिख रही है सामने, all these persons are intelligent. They are most knowledgeable persons of that area, and Akbar इनको किसी न किसी काम में involve किया था under the administration. So the first was Todermal. Todermal was the revenue minister. Revenue minister मतलब जो revenue collect करे, टैक्स कैसे रूल बनाए, टैक्स कितना कौन टैक्स पे करेगा और टैक्स किस हिसाब से लिया जाएगा. Every rule was discussed with Todermal. Next was Mansingh. Mansingh was the leader of Daksh army. अकबर की जो आर्मी थी उसका लीडर मानसिंह था. Next was Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl was the historian and writer. He was the writer who has written the book on Akbar, which is called as Akbarnama or Ain Akbari. Means ये अकबर के लाइफ के बारे में उसने एक बुक लिखी थी. That is why he is very famous. Next was Tansingh, the famous singer. You know about Tansingh. We call that when the Tansingh sang there, rain होता था. All these things. Tansingh इतना उसके म्यूजिक में पावर था. मुल्ला मुक्ताजा, he was a clever and jolly courtier. वो एक बहुत ही clever courtier था. Maheshwas Bimar also, he was a quick-witted courtier, मतलब बहुत ही शातिर courtier था. Birbal की stories, I know that you have heard that. Hamam, the famous Vaidya. Hamam means a doctor. Faizi, the renowned poet. Faizi बहुत एक अच्छा poet था. Same, Abul Fazl जैसे was also like a poet writer. Abdul Rahim, Hindi verse writer. Abdul Rahim was the writer in Hindi language. So all these 9 people, they are called the 9 gems of Akbar's court. Now let's know what were the reforms which were made by Sher Shah. Why in the history Sher Shah is better known as a reformer than the warrior? Let's find out. First of all, Sher Shah introduced many reforms and is therefore better known as a reformer than a warrior. As I have told you, Sher Shah has introduced many changes. Reforms means वो बहुत सारे changes लाया था. That is why उसको warrior से ज़्यादा reformer के तौर पे ज़्यादा याद किया जाता है. First reform. Let's see the first reform. With Todermal's help, he prepared a table for revenue collection based on the type of land and production. Now Todermal, as you know, Todermal was a person who was very intelligent. जैसे मैंने आपको अकबर के 9 gems में से एक बताया. Todermal was very intelligent in making the rules for revenue. So Todermal ने एक table बनाई थी जिसमें according to the land and the production कितना किससे टैक्स लिया जा सकता है, that is shown. तो that table was followed by Sher Shah. Sher Shah हर एक का टैक्स विलेजर से, हर एक का टैक्स उसके फार्मिंग कितनी होती है, उसकी जमीन कितनी है, उसके बेस पे लिया जाता था, ना कि इतना टैक्स फिक्स कर दिया है, ऐसा नहीं. नेक्स्ट इज रिमूव टोल बूथ्स सो दैट देयर कुड बी फ्री ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स. सो टोल टैक्स, एज यू नो कि हम कहीं भी जाते तो टोल टैक्स पे करना पड़ता है, रोड पे हम ड्राइव करते तो सेम वे टोल टैक्स व्हाट वाज देयर बट शेरशाह ने टोल बूथ्स को ही रिमूव कर दिया था सो दैट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स इज पॉसिबल। फ्री मतलब उस गुड्स का अगर कोई इधर से उधर जाए तो उसका कोई टैक्स नहीं लिया जाए। सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स फ्री करने के लिए उसने टोल बूथ्स रिमूव कर दिए थे। He constructed roads to increase trade and for the convenience of the pedestrians. Now, Sher has constructed roads to increase trade and for the convenience of the pedestrians. Sher ने बहुत अच्छे roads बनाए थे जिससे ट्रेड जो है वो इंक्रीज हो सके। अगर रोड्स अच्छे होंगे तो गुड्स का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन पॉसिबल होगा। अगर गुड्स का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन पॉसिबल होगा तो गुड्स हर एक एरिया में अच्छी तरह से सेल हो सकते हैं। एंड विद दिस व्हाट विल बी देयर, सेल इंक्रीज होगी और जिससे पैसे मिलेंगे। सो गुड्स का ट्रेड है वो अच्छा हो, कन्वीनियंस ऑफ पेडेस्ट्रियंस और लोगों को कहीं आने जाने में कोई दिक्कत ना हो। प्लांटेड ट्रीज ऑन both the sides of roads and constructed rest houses. शेरशाह ने ट्री रोड्स बहुत अच्छे बनाए थे और उसके दोनों साइड पर ट्रीज भी प्लांट किए थे सो दैट द पॉल्यूशन भी ना रहे। एंड ऑल्सो रेस्ट हाउसेस बनाए थे जगह जगह पे सो दैट पीपल हु आर ट्रैवलिंग अ लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस दे कैन स्टे फॉर सम टाइम एंड टेक रेस्ट। He set up mint houses to mint silver coins uniformly in weight. Now Sher was the person जिसने मिंट हाउसेस बनाए थे। मिंट हाउसेस मतलब एक तरह की ऐसी फैक्ट्री वेयर द कॉइन्स आर मिंटेड मतलब बनाए जाते हैं। तो सिल्वर कॉइन्स को वेट में यूनिफॉर्म बनाने के लिए, एक जैसा वेट करने के लिए उसने मिंट हाउसेस बनाए थे। एंड ऑल्सो शेरशाह was very strict about the discipline of the army and ordered them not to harass the villagers or destroy their crops. शेरशाह एक स्ट्रिक्ट रूलर था आर्मी के ऊपर। So he has not given the right to any of his soldiers कि वो villagers को किसी भी तरह से harass करे, तंग करे, मारे पीटे और उनके क्रॉप्स डिस्ट्रॉय करे। एंड ऑल्सो there was कोटवाल्स होते थे जिनको राइट दिया गया था क्रिमिनल्स को अरेस्ट करने के लिए। एज नाउडेज पुलिस इज अरेस्टिंग, सेम वे शेरशाह ने कोटवाल्स अपॉइंट कर दिए थे, एक अलग से ऑफिसर्स अपॉइंट किए थे जो क्रिमिनल्स को अरेस्ट करते थे। एंड शेरशाह himself was very much active, himself motivated others, वो खुद दूसरों को मोटिवेट करता था कि ऑनेस्ट रहो, ईमानदारी से काम करो, देन आपका काम अच्छे से हो जाएगा। So these were all the reforms which were made by Sher. Now the last topic of the lesson is Chittor's tales of bravery. So see, we are all aware that Chittor is a place in Rajasthan and ये जो place है अपनी bravery के लिए, अपनी बहादुरी के लिए बहुत जानी जाती है। इसकी बहुत सारी stories हैं। There are many stories behind the bravery. So how it started? Let's hear it. Sisodia Rajputs were not ready to accept Mughal supremacy. Chittor was ruled by Sisodia Rajputs, मतलब जो राजस्थान थे और राजपूत रूलर्स रूल करते थे वहाँ पे। एंड द प्लेस चित्तौड़, उस पे सिसोडिया राजपूत करके लोग रूल करते थे। एंड दे वर नॉट एट ऑल रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट मुगल सुप्रीमेसी। उनको मुगल राजा के अंदर काम नहीं करना था। They didn't wanted to rule under Mughals. मुगल्स का नाम रख के वो रूल नहीं करना चाहते थे। बेसिकली अकबर था तब। Among the rulers of Sisodia dynasty, Maharana Pratap was the one who fought against Akbar continuously till the end. तो सिसोडिया डायनास्टी से जो भी रूलर्स बिलोंग करते थे उसमें से एक था महाराणा प्रताप, who fought against the Akbar continuously till the end, मतलब कि एंड तक वो अकबर के साथ लड़ता रहता है। It's not like कि उनकी एक लड़ाई होती, बहुत सारी लड़ाई होती, but yes, they were fighting because Akbar also wanted मेवाड़, चित्तौड़, ये सारी जो राजस्थान की एरिया थी वो भी अकबर को अपने अंदर कवर करनी थी। Akbar wanted to set up his rule on Mewar. There were many battles fought between Mewar and Delhi. दिल्ली जो रूल करता था वो था अकबर। So Mewar and Delhi, there were many battles which were fought, and among them the battle of Haldi Ghati is considered to be remarkable. Now जो हल्दी घाटी की बैटल हुई थी, it was fought between Maharana Pratap and Akbar. Remember this thing. Battle of Haldi Ghati was fought between Maharana Pratap and Akbar, and ये जो battle है वो remarkable है, मतलब वो यादगार battle है। Let's hear something about the battle of Haldi Ghati. Akbar had a huge and well-equipped army. अकबर के पास बहुत ही बड़ी आर्मी थी, well-equipped थी। They were having guns, weapons, cannons, artillery, मतलब उनके पास बहुत सारे weapons थे. Whereas Maharana Pratap had the advantage of chivalrous Rajput warriors who lived in forest. So as on the one side, Akbar was having a very huge and well-equipped army. उसके पास बहुत बड़ी और modern weapons के साथ army थी. On the other side, Maharana Pratap was having the advantage of the Rajput warriors, those who lived in the forest, and they knew how to fight a war. एक war में कैसे लड़ते हैं उनको आता था. Chivalrous means they respected women. They were following the values which were given to them according to their religion. तो इस वजह से both the side कह सकते हैं equal था. But then also there were just 20 to 20,000 soldiers. मतलब कि on the Maharana Pratap side सिर्फ 20 to 20,000 soldiers थे who have fought bravely against lakhs of Mughal soldiers. Mughal army बड़ी थी. एक साइड अगर lakhs of Mughal soldiers थे, on the other side there were only 20 to 20,000 soldiers. In the battle, Maharana Pratap and his horse Chetak attained martyrdom that can never be forgotten. Means in this battle of Haldi Ghati, Maharana Pratap and his horse Chetak, Maharana Pratap का जो horse Chetak था, उसका बहुत ही favorite horse था. And that is why in every battle Maharana Pratap used this Chetak horse only, and thus the specialty about Chetak, he also listened to Maharana Pratap. वो सिर्फ Maharana Pratap की ही सुनता था, but they both attained martyrdom. इस लड़ाई में दोनों Maharana Pratap और Chetak शहीद हो जाते हैं, and the martyrdom which they have given that can never be forgotten. मतलब इनकी जो शहीद हो गए कभी भी हम भूल नहीं सकते. Chetak only listened to Maharana Pratap. He took the command of Maharana Pratap only. Maharana Pratap कैसे भी Chetak को war में कमांड करते थे, वो वैसे ही जाता था, वैसे ही करता था. And there are many incidents about horse Chetak and his master Maharana Pratap. For example, once there was in between the fight, the Mughal Senapati was seated on the elephant. So Maharana Pratap instructed Chetak to jump high so that he can reach to that Mughal Senapati, and he threw the spear. But the Mughal Senapati was saved because of the canopy. बीच में कुछ आ जाता है. That's why the spear could not get through the Mughal Senapati. So there was an incident where horse Chetak and Maharana Pratap both were badly injured in the battle, so they needed rest. So there was a time when one of the leaders of Maharana Pratap bore the clothes of Maharana Pratap, and just to distract the Mughal army, he went through the other way, and Maharana Pratap this way was saved. He fought bravely, बहुत अच्छे से, मतलब बहुत bravely उसने अकबर के साथ fight किया, but at last Maharana Pratap was defeated. In between the fight, Maharana Pratap ran away. He went to the forest and he got the support from a Jain trader named Bhama Shah, and reorganized his army again and fought again with the Mughals. Bhama Shah helped him financially and gave the whole support, like gave his army, gave the manpower so that Maharana Pratap can fight. But they fought, but at last Maharana Pratap could not save Chittor. सारे forts उसने बचा लिए मुगल से, but चित्तौड़ का जो fort था वो नहीं बचा पाए. Maharana Pratap at the end also vowed that till I get back Chittor, I will not sit peacefully. जब तक मुझे चित्तौड़ का fort जो last fort था वो से मिल नहीं जाता, तब भी मैं चैन से नहीं बैठूंगा. So this was the story behind Chittor. This was a fight which is remarkable in our history. Now here also our chapter ends. Now in the next session we will meet with the new lesson. Till then, keep learning. Thank you and have a nice day.